All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the New York Mets have not had the services of starting pitcher Max Scherzer since May the 18th, while starting pitcher Jacob deGrom has yet to take the field this season in a big league game for the Mets. And when you're talking about what the Mets have been missing in this pair, you're talking about two starting pitchers that have combined to win five Cy Young Awards. But for the Mets, they have not wavered as they are still in first place in the National League East, as they've been able to hold off the hard charge of the surging Atlanta Braves, who have really cut into the Mets' cushion in that division. However, for the Mets, they are in the process of getting reinforcements, and this franchise has to feel good about that. Scherzer is set to take the mound tonight for the Mets against the Cincinnati Reds. While the team should be happy that DeGrom had a rehab start of his own recently, as he took a huge step in regards to making his debut for the Mets here in 2022. Now, the return of Scherzer tonight, along with the potential return of DeGrom, could work like a trade for the Mets, being that haven't had these two quality pitchers for so long. You've been able to hold the fort down, and now you're going to get reinforcements in that starting rotation, and it definitely has to be a huge boost to this team as a whole. Now, credit to this team and this lineup for holding it down in the absence of Scherzer and DeGrom. I mean, especially in regards to Scherzer, because he actually did pitch for the Mets already this season. But nonetheless, it's basically been a next man up philosophy for the Mets under manager Buck Showalter. And even if you go back to when Scherzer had his injury, the lineup really stepped it up. They picked up their pitching staff, and they started scoring more runs. And even with that, even with the other pitchers in this rotation, they have held serve. So now you get a quality guy like Scherzer back. You have the potential to get another quality pitcher like DeGrom back, possibly within the next month. And it's going to be a big thing for this team going forward, as they're looking to not only make the playoffs but also win the division. And obviously, they want to try to do some damage if and when they do get to the postseason. So this should give the Mets some extra juice heading into the All Star break, while it's also going to give the team's front office more of an idea as to what they're going to have to do leading up to the trade deadline, because the Mets are going to be buyers. And regardless if they win this division or not, they are going to be postseason bound, because you think about it, obviously, MLB has expanded the postseason now with the additional wild card. But obviously, first things first, you want to try to win your division and kind of take care of things. The Mets are still in a good spot with that. They're 3.5 games up on the Braves. Obviously, there is plenty of baseball yet to be played. We have not even gotten to the All Star break as of yet, but nonetheless, the Mets have put themselves in a good position, and now you get two quality pitchers like Scherzer and DeGrom coming back. That definitely has to be a shot in the arm, and it's going to be important because you look at the Mets' schedule as they wrap up the first half of the season. They have two more in Cincy with the Reds. Obviously, they got past the Reds last night, 7-4. You want to finish off and try to take care of the teams that you're supposed to beat, especially with a team like the Reds that has struggled from opening day this year. After that, the Mets have a 4 game set this weekend at home against the Miami Marlins. You can never look past that team. The Marlins historically have always been a thorn in the side of the Mets, but the one that a lot of people are going to be focused on is next week, when the Mets are on the road for 3 against the aforementioned Atlanta Braves. And the way things are shaping up, it looks like it's going to be a two-team race in the National League East. Obviously, a lot of people remember what happened last year. The Mets set the record for the most days in first place, not only to not win the division, but also not to even finish with a winning record. Obviously, this roster is a lot different this year. You have a different manager, so this team has a different feel to it this year as compared to last year when it looked more like it was kind of held together by spit and glue. But nonetheless, that is going to be an important series for the Mets as they look to wrap up the first half of the season. Definitely want to get some momentum, and you definitely want to try to hold on to your lead in first place in the division as you head into the break. But nonetheless, getting back to the topic at hand, getting Scherzer back tonight is going to be big. I don't expect the Mets to really give Scherzer free reign. He'll probably go out there, try to get 5 innings, and then they take it from there. Obviously, they're going to approach him with the kid gloves, and the same thing is going to be said with DeGrom as he looks to get back. But nonetheless, this is a huge step in the right direction for the Mets. Credit to their team, credit to their manager for being able to hold things down. They didn't go into the tank. Typically, what we've seen with the Mets over the years is when they're dealing with a rash of injuries, you know what? It's kind of like Murphy's Law. What can go wrong does go wrong. This time, the Mets they held the fort down. They've got Scherzer back, and let's see if they can build off of this momentum and finish the first half on a strong note. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.